Well, my original truck, Black Stallion, you know, we ran it. Of course, I campaigned another truck at the time. We had 2 trucks. And I can't remember the name of that other truck I ran, but it was a van. We campaigned Boogie Van, and it was, you know, my kind of took a back seat. My caliber kind of stayed the same, but then Boogie Van, we threw a lot of good stuff in that truck. I kept running my truck, and everybody's like, when are you gonna, Mike, when are you gonna build a new truck? When are you gonna build a new truck? I was like, oh, I'm working on it. My original truck, when I went from Lee Springs to 4-link, I actually drove to California, met with Custer Shocks. It's the first monster truck to work with, you know, Custer Shocks on shocks. So, rather than building a new truck, at that time we wasn't sure what approach to take. So I just dissected my original truck, took the Lee Springs out from under it, built a truss under it, made it complete 4-link, took the 5 tons out, put the planetaries on 106s, which is starting to be a popular axle, which is today. And that's when we made, I called it basically, I never really promoted it Black Stallion 2, but that was, you know, that was the second Black Stallion. We put metal steel skins on it and fiberglass hood. Then eventually we went with fiberglass bedsides. And we just kept working with that design. And of course Marty built Maximum Overkill, and I used a lot of some of his ideas, some of Taurus's ideas, and we just kind of come up with the design to move over to Boogie Van. So then we got Boogie Van out, it did real well, and then that was kind of a pattern that where we, you know, what the industry was going with as far as the drop truss, shocks. And then we ended up putting longer wheel travel on the trucks. At the time, Scott Stevens, he lost his Auto Value sponsor, and I stopped by to look at his chassis, and I had a 1-truck hauler camper. And I looked at it, and I was like, well, it's kind of not what I wanted, but I could use the frame rails. So I asked right there at Scott's, I said, I'll buy it. And I bought the chassis from him, and I cut the cage off of it, and cut some of the truss off of it, and we jammed it in over the tires and stuff in my 1-truck hauler. Brought it home from Texas, and then it sat over there. I got it probably in '94, and then I just started designing off that chassis. And but I built the whole, you know, when I built a new truck, it was the frame rails were basically the only thing that I didn't build in that truck. And back then it was, oh yeah, year 2000. And I heard that more than once. So then when I was building it, it's like, you know what? I'm going to call it Black Stallion 2000, because then it was in '96, because everybody picked on me, yeah, year 2000, you'll build a new truck. And back then we always landed rear wheels first, and then, you know, a lot of the trucks, Fred Schaefer, you know, we all kind of landed that way. Now of course, Taurus always landed nose first, and you know, get your nose on the ground the fastest, won a lot of races. That's why Taurus won a lot of races. And then of course it evolved. I had 36 inches of wheel travel in the back, and I think I had it up to 20 in the front, and that's where we did Boogie Van. You really couldn't. I don't know, you remember Black Stallion 2000, the big humps that stuck up over my bed? Well, Boogie Van had them too. And back in the day when we ran Penda, you know, we used to take off and we'd hit the throttle. And Penda, when that light turned, you hit the throttle and you didn't lift until you landed, unless you got totally sideways. And you just come over that first hill and land on the rear wheels full throttle, and just, you know, and then just we mostly set it down on the down ramp of that and just shoot off like a rocket. And then of course that's where we kind of come up with that design. You were asking me earlier about, you know, my original shocks, and I couldn't help myself. I had to go out in the shed and dig one out and extend it. Of course, it's got a bent shaft from when we finally retired them, but here's the original, here's one of the original shocks that was on Black Stallion. And that's accumulated. I had 36-inch shafts in it. But we had, we bent some of them, so as the sport kind of changed, we shortened them up. And I think I got 32-inch shafts in it now. And we developed this shock when we had Boogie Van. When we went from the 18-inch coilover, I actually went to King shocks. back to King shocks and said, you know, can you build me a long shock? They refused to build anything over 18 inches. So I just started ordering pistons and different parts. This is what really helped Boogeyman at the Penda series. Be able to, you know, go over the jump and just keep it floored, and then, you know, the shocks would catch it. And that's when Custer shut down and went to King. And then those shocks I just showed you made the Custer family, Lance King, Brett King, kind of believers in the long shocks. And then they produced this shock, which is the 26-inch. Not saying they copied me, but like this was the bypass tube that a lot of the off-road racers still use today. And you've seen the ones that Kirk LeDuc built is still kind of the same tube. But this is 26 inches, and that was 36. And I sent them video, showed them a lot of different footage of how it worked with the bigger accumulator, a little higher pressure in the accumulator, the valving to be able to get because that's a lot of fluid, and that was the problem that Custer and King always was worried about, is moving that much fluid in such short time. And I actually learned, I don't know if you remember the video where I jumped Andy Hoffman's truck in '99. Well, I come in here and I'm tightening all this up, you know, just tightening the compression up, because I'm going to go big, and, you know, I had to get over this truck. So I tightened a lot of my compression up, and when I hit that ramp and went over his truck, and when I landed, I bent all my shock shafts in the back. And I was like, what in the world did that? So I watched the video, and when it come down, the tires went completely to the rims before the shocks finally went in. And that told me one thing, and that's when we really started learning about shaft speeds. The shaft speed, all that fluid trying to move in such a quick hurry. And a lot of people didn't realize I should have opened these up more to let the fluid flow faster. And I learned a lot on shocks. You know, that was a big step for me, just making that jump over Andy's truck. You know, I talked to Brett King. He's like, you know, we're going to try it. We're going to build a 24 and a 26. And I said, well, you build them, I'll put them on my truck. Excuse us, this truck has been through hell in the last couple of years in the Triple Threat series, and these are some repairs. But for now, we're going to do a little more things with this truck. But anyway, we cut the camel humps off and put this on, and actually brought the shock towers down about 9 inches, so we could accommodate these to the 26. But yeah, this is the truck that it kind of started it all with us. I mean, as far as when I really started. Of course, I had Boogeyman, which we learned a lot, and then we built this truck, and this has been a remarkable truck. 23 years we beat this truck. And Matt Cody's done a lot with this truck. I mean, just with the Triple Threat. I mean, he's out there running with the trucks today. Been a really good truck.